Hi friends, Travis here, and today we're going to be doing a 5 things I wish I'd known before I took my first cruise kind of vibe video. If you're new to the channel, I want to welcome you. If at any point you like what you see, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those things. And if you've been here before, welcome back. But anyway, let's just roll right into it. The first thing I wish I'd known before I embarked on my first cruise is that you can save money with advanced purchases. So this kind of applies to a lot of different things: drink packages, excursions, even stuff like amenities around the ship, like specialty restaurants and spa treatments and those kinds of things. When I went on my first cruise, I didn't book any of those things in advance. And particularly the drink package was extra expensive. It would have costed just over $500 for the two of us for the 5-day cruise, but instead it was just over $700 when we got on board, roughly $360-ish each. And that wasn't very smart on our part. I mean, we definitely got our money's worth. We drank enough to make it still be worth it. But if we had bought that in advance, we would have easily saved a couple $100 there. One caveat I will say to that, though, is that we were able to book a spa treatment when we got on board on one of the days that they had a special. They just kind of sent it out to the app. So if we had done that same treatment in advance, it would have actually costed us more. So that's something to weigh back and forth. Typically, drink packages, excursions, and specialty dining, things like that, are safe to book in advance to save money. The second thing I wish I'd known before my first cruise, and this doesn't apply to every cruise line, but definitely the American cruise lines allow this, is that you can prepay your gratuities. And so basically what happens is when you get on board, they charge you a daily amount, usually between like $12 and $20, depending on the cruise line, for gratuities. And that's supposed to go to like your waiter and your room steward and, bar staff and whatever. They kind of like split that, and I'm not sure exactly how that works or how that gets split up, but they do take gratuities from you every day. And if you're not expecting that, like I actually went to guest services at one point and was like, what is this random service charge on my bill? And that was the gratuities. But you can pay those in advance, and it doesn't like save you any money necessarily, but it kind of gives you like the peace of mind of like, you're not going to be surprised while you're on board, and you're not going to lose track of how much your onboard account accrues. So I think it's easier if that's an option to do. And I always do that now when I can. I just think from an accounting standpoint, it really helps me keep track of how much I'm spending on a cruise. The next thing I wish I'd known about, and this is a little bit hard to research in advance, especially right now with like protocols and things constantly changing and whatever, but I wish I'd known about themed nights. So obviously we knew there was going to be a formal night, and so we brought clothes for that. But they also had a white party. They also had Caribbean night. They also, had, there was one other theme night. I can't remember. And people dressed up. Like there were several people that brought outfits like specifically for those themed nights. And we felt a little out of place at certain events because we weren't dressed up. And now, mind you, a lot of people weren't along with us, but it would have been nice, especially me, someone who likes to play dress up, to have brought some of that stuff with me to play along with the fun. You know what I mean? And the fourth thing I wish I would have known is I wish I would have known to bring cash with me. Now, this is actually something I messed up a couple of times on 2 of my cruises. I didn't have cash, which is, is a mistake. But the thing about it is a lot of the ports, especially in the Caribbean, if you will, they expect you to have cash, American dollars to pay. And using a credit card and things abroad can be kind of confusing and cause issues with your bank and fees and those kinds of things. And you get so used to on board just using your CPass card for everything. But once you're like, out on the shore and whatever, most places, unless it's owned by the cruise line, isn't going to accept that as a form of payment. So be sure to have cash. Also, if you want to give your waiter, room steward, some of the bartenders, etc., extra tips, extra gratuities for exceptional service, it definitely helps to have cash for that as well, because we tried to get some cash on the Meraviglia, and what they had listed as an ATM did not give you cash. It was just to like settle your bill with the cruise line and whatever. So, something to keep in mind. And the last thing I wish I would have known about is the different cruise fare options. We just booked the rack rate for our cruise. We didn't even pay attention to the fact that there were different options. Obviously we knew that there were different room types and that kind of thing, but like MSC, for example, you can get like the Escape to Sea one, which is usually the cheapest option. They have their brochure rates, which is like the actual rack, what the cruise actually normally costs, full price, I guess. And then they sometimes have another option that I can't remember the name of, or like cruise only, I think it's called, which is like, I guess kind of the Escape to Sea, but like even less comes with it, even though it usually is more than the Escape to Sea, if that's, because that's like their deal, I don't know. And then the last one is the all-in drinks and Wi-Fi that they have, and that includes drinks and Wi-Fi, exactly what it says. And that is like hands down the most inexpensive way to do, prepaid drinks and Wi-Fi. There's no other way that's cheaper with MSC. And, all the different cruise lines have different ticket options. And also one thing to kind of add on to that is third-party sites sometimes will give you special incentives like onboard credit and those kinds of things. So shop around. Don't be afraid to shop around. Of course, I knew that I could go onto different websites and book cruises through them, but for some reason I thought that wouldn't be a good idea. I don't know. I just, with other things like hotels and whatever, sometimes it's better to book directly through the hotel. Like I'm a Hilton Honors member, and if I book third party, I don't get I get points, but I don't get credit for the night, something like that. It's kind of a mess when that happens. So now I book directly through Hilton, and I thought the cruise lines maybe worked the same way, and I wanted to be part of their rewards programs and things like that. But no, third-party cruise fares and alternative ways to buy tickets, obviously assuming that they're legit, is completely okay. So yeah, that basically wraps up this video. Let me know if there are some things that you wish you would have known before your first cruise. Go ahead and comment that down below, because I'm sure I know for sure there's like a zillion things I probably completely forgot about that we experienced our first cruise that we would have maybe done differently had we known the information more. But, put that info out there if you can and talk to me. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those fun things. We'll talk soon, and you all have a good night.